Stocks soaring today after the U.S. and China agreed to temporarily slash tariffs. The Dow up 1,100 plus points, S&P 500 higher by 3% in a single day, and the NASDAQ, with all the tech stocks, up the most percentage-wise and exiting what they call bear market territory today. So with us right now is Michael Faulkender, who's the Deputy Treasury Secretary, also acting IRS Commissioner. Welcome, sir. Saying that your boss is getting a lot of the credit for getting things done over there in Geneva. If you don't mind, I'd like to actually start with a phrase that I found interesting today. I know it's been used before, but strategic decoupling. Secretary Bessent was talking about it, because I go back to the first Trump administration. There was a lot of talk about actual decoupling between the United States and China, that we'd be separate entities economically. What does strategic decoupling mean, and how do you think this all ends up in terms of our relationship when it's all said and done?
Yeah. Great to be with you, Connell. Yeah, so strategic decoupling, the way that we think about it is that there are some critical sectors of our economy, particularly those that feed into the national security space, where there are some dependencies on potential adversaries and on other nations around the world, where we need to make sure that we build out more resilient supply chains so that no matter what happens in the world, we can make sure that we have what we need, what our economy needs, what our national security apparatus needs to meet the needs of the American people. So as we think about prioritizing the sectors of the economy that we want to pay particular attention to, that's really what strategic decoupling means, is to focus on those areas where we have the greatest economic and national security vulnerabilities.
But there's going to be business for American companies in China. That's part of the end goal.
That's right. And I mean, if you look at the deal that Ambassador Greer and Secretary Bessent negotiated, the reason that this was able to be so successful is because after years, if not decades, of the Chinese engaging in practices that have been detrimental to American workers, American manufacturers in particular, such that China was able to generate a $295 billion trade deficit with the United States last year, the Chinese were more than willing to come to the table because of the president's tariffs and finally open up discussions about improving access to Chinese markets, about addressing some of these lingering imbalances that have caused this detrimental outcome to be the case. And so, yes, part of this negotiation is we're going to bring down the tariffs for 90 days while we negotiate, but the end goal is to make sure that we have free and fair access to the Chinese market for American manufacturers and address some of these imbalances that have created some strategic vulnerabilities.
You mentioned supply chains a minute ago. How do you manage supply chain potential disruption or distortion in the next 90 days as everybody watches you guys negotiate? Is that a concern?
Well, that's why it was important to put a tariff pause for most of the tariffs for the next 90 days while these negotiations take place. So rather than a 145% and 125% tariff respectively on each side, which effectively is equivalent to an embargo, it's coming down to 30 and 10%. So those tariffs will be in place, but it'll facilitate the flow of goods once again, so that businesses and individuals that are consuming products that are coming in from China once again have access to those.
Now, the president said today, of course, with tariffs, he reserves the right to raise them up higher again if you don't work out a deal. But what I also thought was interesting is the so-called de minimis exemption, where smaller items, everything under $800, which a lot of American consumers, shop online for Chinese products, take note of. That wasn't part of today, right? Why not? Why was that not included in the deal?
Okay, so the issue with de minimis is that it does facilitate the evasion of potential tariffs, and so it's important that we continue to address the issues that goods coming in, whether they be in large quantities or in smaller, realize the same kind of treatment as everything else is doing. So that's why it's important that we continue.
But couldn't the American consumer take a bigger hit in the interim?
Well, that's why bringing these down to 10 and 30, as we discussed during this 90-day pause, is important, that way that they are in place and there is not this mechanism whereby importers could cheat by claiming the de minimis exemption. So it's important for there to be uniformity in the implementation.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.